Alright, let's see the last time we uploaded a video. Oh, we better change that. Today I'm showing off a data pack that I made that adds a bunch of random memes to Minecraft. Please sub and like because it would really help out a lot, and without any further ado, let's get started. Alright, so to get started with this data pack, you need a crafting table and 4 diamonds. And you put them in the crafting table like this, and you get a diamond crafting table. You can place it down, and it looks like this. Alright, so now what can you do with the diamond crafting table, you might be asking. Alright, well let's show off the first crafting recipe, which is toilets. So, to craft them, there's 3 versions, iron, gold, and diamond. You have to craft them like this. Alright, so let's just grab all these. Alright, so, in the crafting table, you just put 1, like that, and like that, and you'll get your toilet. And it's important to note that this crafting table is a little different than a normal one, so for example, you cannot stack 2 items on top of each other. They have to be single stacks, and you can also put other items in these stacks and it will just destroy them, so just be wary of that. So like that. Alright. So you can place down a toilet, and then by right clicking kind of the bottom of it, you can rotate it, and then if you walk up close, you can sit down, and then you get some status effects based on which toilet you have. The iron toilet gives you hunger and regeneration. The gold toilet gives you luck. And then the diamond toilet gives you bonus regeneration and will cure debuffs from you. And you can place them all down just fine. And then if you ever want to break one, you just punch there and it breaks. Shrek's next. Alright, so the next feature is Shrek. So you may remember this from one of my previous data packs, but I've just added it in and changed a few things on how they work. So now when you enter the swamp, you get an advancement and it will spawn Shrek instead of him spawning in naturally. So if I give myself a netherite sword, and check that video for more details on Shrek. But again, he drops onions, none of that has changed. The one thing that will have changed though is there's a new crafting recipe with 7 string and a lily pad. And when you craft this in the diamond crafting table, you'll get a swamp talisman. And if you ever need to know any of the recipes, just type /trigger help me, and you'll get a list of all the crafting recipes available to you. Alright, so let's go back. And once you're back in the swamp, if you use the swamp talisman, it'll say ogres are like onions, and it will reset the advancement so that the next time you're in a swamp, it will spawn them in. Alright, next feature is the swamp donkey. So if we summon a donkey in, and we give it a gold toilet, it becomes a swamp donkey. And then, swamp donkey is basically just a normal donkey, but every time you hit it, it drops a piece of kelp, and you can saddle it up and ride it. So I've completely changed how the Wandering Trader works. Now it will spawn in as Stonksman, and it'll offer these trades. So for 2 to 5 diamonds, it will sell you 1 stonk, and then for 1 to 4 diamonds, you can get it back. So you're always losing out if you trade like this, but if you're smart and buy when it's low and sell when it's high, you can make some diamonds. So let me show you that. So let's just get some stonk, and you can only get up to 17 stonk per trade. And then if you want to, what you can do is you can click on this, and you can get yourself a Dogecoin. And let's get some of our diamonds back. There we go. So now when you find a Wandering Trader, it'll be useful. But as you may have noticed, the Dogecoin can be pretty expensive. So this is why I've added the sus computer in. So to craft it, you need 7 sus ingots, 1 netherite ingot, and 1 Dogecoin. And if you're wondering how to get sus ingots, they're a loot from pillager outposts. So if you explore enough pillager outposts, you should find enough. So to craft it, it's like so, and then you can place it down. And every 20 minutes, it will generate you a Dogecoin. So if we check this one's already generated us 2 Dogecoins for the time it took me to build the showcase up. Alright, now you may be wondering, what do you want to do with Dogecoin? And that's where the Doges come in. So if we drop some things, if you drop a Dogecoin on a wolf, it'll become a Doge, and it acts like a beacon where you get permanent fire resistance and night vision while nearby. Then you can drop a Russian hat on it, which is crafted like so. And if you drop a Russian hat on it, it becomes a Russian Doge. And if you stand next to it, it will take you to a dimension called Siberia. And Siberia is basically the entire world's a snowy tundra, but it just spawns a lot of extra wolves. Stuck. So then if you go back, and there we go, we're back. Alright, and then the final thing you can do, Alright, and then the final thing you can do is you can craft a Cheeseburger with 2 bread, 2 steak, and a Dogecoin. Like so. And if you drop it on a Russian Doge, it'll become a Cheem, and it'll appear in your inventory. And it says /trigger Cheem UUID set any number. So if you type that out, set, and let's just set our Cheem ID to 100. What this will do is this is basically how you determine which Cheem is yours and which one's not yours. So any Cheem, like when you place it down, whatever your Cheem score is, it'll be transferred to that Cheem. So right now this one's 100. And while it's my Cheem, I can command it to attack stuff like a normal dog. But then if I set my Cheem score to 150, and I summon a sheep in, let's say, where did it go? I summon a sheep in, it won't attack. But if we go back to 100, and we summon the sheep in, and attack it, it will get angry. So this is basically a way like how normal dogs work, but if you want to team up with someone and combine your team armies, you can do that too. And then, if they're at full health, you can shift and pick them up. Next up, Shaun the Sheep Armor. So you can craft Shaun the Sheep Armor like you would normal armor, but you just have the outsides are white wool and the center is black concrete. I meant black terracotta, excuse me. And then finally, alright, so when you put Shaun the Sheep Armor on, it's a little bit worse than Diamond. And then each piece of it gives you 1 level of Wither on your attack. So if I spawn a sheep in and I hit it, it will be applied with Wither for 4 seconds. And then the boots will grant slow falling, so you can't take fall damage. And with a full set on, you will purge any resistance buff that the target has. So if you're fighting someone and they drink a resistance potion, you can take that, and it will be useful later on. Alright, next up, we have to go down here, or I guess something over here. Yeah, so what you want to do is you want to take a string, a feather, and a yellow dye, and put them in a crafting table like so, and you will get a goose feather. And then if we get if we go into creative and get 5 more of these, you can craft a goose helmet. And this won't do anything special, but it is useful for later on. So now, what we want to do is, if you get your goose helmet, and you drop it on a chicken, it'll spawn the goose boss in. So now, this boss is actually neutral, meaning that it won't attack you unless you attack it first. But, so you see, I don't have a full set of Shaun the Sheep armor on, and when I try to attack it, I deal no damage, because this boss has resistance 100. But, if I put my last pair of Shaun the Sheep armor on, I can take the resistance, and then I can kill it just fine. And then when it dies, they'll drop a goose staff and another goose feather. So the goose staff, when you right click with it, it will create this kind of blast, and any person with absorption or a shield, it will instantly remove that. So that's very useful. Alright, next up are frogs. So if you go to a swamp, there's a chance that naturally frogs will spawn in. So let's see if we can find one. Okay, so after a little bit of searching, I found a frog. And they kind of just hop around and they will follow you. But they are harmless. And you can, if you kill them, you will get a frog slime. You get 1 to 3 frog slime. And I'll show you what you can do with frog slime. Alright, so once we're back here, what you can do is, if you get a frog slime, a stick, a white wool, and 2 string, you can place it like this, and you get a piece of frog cloth. Now with frog cloth, you can craft Kermit the Frog armor. Alright. Now Kermit the Frog armor is the same as diamond armor. And then for each piece of Kermit the Frog armor, you get 1 level of jump boost. So with full Kermit the Frog armor on, you get a lot of jump boost. And a full set gives you water breathing so that you can breathe underwater. Alright, so now if we get a piece of frog cloth, we can spawn the evil Kermit boss in. So if I just put all this away, all we need to fight it is this, plus our Kermit armor. So what you have to do is, to spawn it in, you just have to drop a frog cloth on top of a crying obsidian if there's 4 obsidian to the side like this. So if I drop it down, it'll spawn evil Kermit boss. And what evil Kermit will have 1,000 points of absorption, so you need a goose staff to remove it. And then you can just fight him like this. And like so, once you kill him, you'll get a full set of evil Kermit armor. And evil Kermit armor does the same thing as Kermit the Frog armor, but it's slightly better, so it's the same level as netherite. And while wearing a full set, you are immune to the wither effect. So if I summon a wither skeleton, you can see I only get withered for like a second, because every second you clear wither, which makes fighting wither skeletons a lot easier. Alright, next up is a Spongebob boss. So you'll need 4 golden apples, 2 sponges, 1 wither skeleton, and 2 nautilus skulls. So if we put the wither skeleton skull in the center, this to the side, like so, we will get a Spongebob talisman. And conveniently, I have a teleport right here. So I'm just going to clear myself. And all the armor's here. So this is what I would recommend to fight it with. And if we put this on, we can spawn it in. And all you have to do is place them down. Alright, so the Spongebob boss has some interesting mechanics. So, first off, it will, it has an AoE wither effect, so it's kind of important to have this. And then secondly, it shoots flying crabs. It shoots explosive Krabby Patties at you, which will do a lot of damage, so you kind of have to be careful and mindful of those. Oh wow. And he also does a lot of fire damage, so that's something else to keep in consideration. Might be nice to bring a Doge, or a fire resistant potion. Alright, and he is almost dead. Alright, so we kind of got unfortunate. Some of the pineapple ingots burned. I would recommend fighting it in water, but the boss does have some water bonuses, so it's your call. If you fight it on land, you have to deal with the fire. If you fight it in the water, it has a little bit more navigation and damage, so depends on what you want to do. So let's just clear ourselves and head back up here. So the boss will drop 25 pineapple ingots. Alright, cool. So now if you take a pineapple ingot and then you put a strength on the bottom, regeneration on the top, poison to the side, and water breathing to this side, you'll get a Bud Light Night ingot and you'll get your 4 glass bottles back. And with the Bud Light Night ingots, you can craft full Bud Light Night armor. Just like so, 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 and so. And if you did the math, you would have noticed that we have 1 ingot left over after this. And this is intentional, because you see in a second, there's something else you can do with these. So you can also upgrade your teams with them. So if you place a team down and you drop a Bud Light Night helmet on it, it becomes an upgraded team. And what the upgraded team will do is if we summon a sheep in, it has quadruple the stats of the normal one. So it can kind of just one-shot basic mobs. So that is kind of nice. Alright, so now let me show you what the Bud Light Night armor does. So first off, it is better than netherite. It offers more protection and more armor toughness. So that's nice. And then you also have a weakness and nausea aura. So if you summon a wither skeleton in, you notice he's not really doing a lot of damage to me. There we go, you finally got a hit in. Give that a sword. So, and then the other thing you may notice is each piece of armor you have on. Here, if I give that as instant damage. If I lose these absorption, for each piece you put on, you get absorption. So the helmet and the boots give 2 absorption, and then the chestplate and leggings give 4 absorption hearts. And after not taking damage for 14 seconds, you will regain all your absorption. So it is pretty strong. And then the final thing you can do with Bud Light Night ingots is over. Where did I put it? Over here. And you can craft a giant anime sword. So you need 5 diamonds, 1 stick, and 1 Bud Light Night ingot. Just like so. And this, it's a very good sword. So if you attack something, it has 17 attack damage, so it does about twice the damage of a netherite sword. So you can kind of murder stuff with it. Alright, it's now time to show you the final boss fight. So if I clear myself, this is the big chungus boss fight, and To fight this, there's actually 2 ways you can do it. So let's just so we could either do. So I'm going to show off the first one, where you use upgraded teams. All right. So this is what you have. So you have to put it like this. So an important thing about the upgraded team run is that when Big Chungus spawns in, he does 12 hearts of damage to everyone nearby if there is no upgraded team nearby. So you want to place them out beforehand, or you pretty much instantly die when the fight starts. Alright, so this is what my setup is, and then the way you spawn it is you... Oh wow. I kind of messed that up, but you have to get a rabbit into a trapdoor like this, and then you drop another star on top. And then it'll spawn a Big Chungus. Alright, so Big Chungus has 1,000. Alright, let's try that again, shall we? So... There we go, so if I hit them with the bow, it will anger all of my teams. And then, for this part, you kind of just have to let your teams get them low enough so that you can finish them with your bow without being one-shot, because he will one-shot you in anything that's not Big Chungus. I meant Bud Light Knight Armor. So you kind of just want to use your jump boost to keep a good distance. And he does break blocks, so you can't really pillar up to safety. What? What are you doing, team? Oh, go get him. Oh, I think I hit one of my teams on accident, so now that's good. Alright, and then there we go. We hit them with the final shot. And there it is. Alright. I need to put on my Big Chungus armor. So now, once you defeat him, you get Big Chungus armor. Which, when you equip it... I didn't grab the boots, did I? There we go. You may notice a few things. There we go. Alright, so let's explain what Big Chungus armor will do, and then we'll show you the other way to fight the boss. So, each piece of Big Chungus armor offers the same as netherite. It's actually a little worse than Bud Light Knight armor in protection-wise, but each gives you 5 hearts. And then the chest plate and helmet give you an extra heart of damage, while the boots and leggings give you knockback resistance. And now, unlike the other pieces of armor, each piece of armor has a separate ability. So let's go through those. So the helmet has an ability where we give ourselves some hunger, like this. You may notice that when we hit something, we actually regain hunger. And this is because every time we hit something, we steal hunger from them. So we give them the hunger effect where they lose hunger and we gain hunger back. Alright. So if we effect give at us instant damage. And then hunger. Oh, wrong piece. Alright, so if we put this on, you'll notice that even though we don't have enough hunger, we are still regenerating hearts. And this is because the Big Chungus armor, each second has a 30% chance to regenerate one half of your heart for you. So it means if you do eat food, you regenerate really quickly. Alright. The leggings. So these have an ability called Size Stomp. So if we summon a mob, what this means is if we hit a mob that has less health than us, we slow them 100% for 1 second. So like if we look at the sheep, I have 15 hearts, and if I hit it, you see it can't move for 1 second, and you get these little chain particles. So and for each piece, because it gives you more health, the more pieces of Big Chungus armor you have on, the more targets you can hit with this ability. And just to note, this is current health, not total health. So if you're at half a heart, you can't apply this to anyone. Alright, and the final piece, the simplest, are the boots. And when wearing these, you get bonus jump height. Just because the Big Chungus boss has some jump, this is kind of a nice feature. So if you wear the full set, you are a pretty hard force to stop. You have 3 rows of hearts, as much protection as a netherite. You can steal saturation, you regen slowly, you're hard to knock around, and you slow anyone that has less health than you. So this is some pretty good armor. Alright, the final way to fight this boss is with using Bud Light Knight armor and an giant anime sword. So for this one, again, we have to use this same spawning mechanism. There we go. So if we equip the full Bud Light Knight armor, put the shield in our offhand, we should be ready to go. So with this one, you can actually take a hit from the Bud Light Knight, and the Big Chungus, and you won't instantly die, because Bud Light Knight has a lot of protection. So that is kind of nice. So let's see, can I not mess this up this time? There we go. And then if I drop the Nether Star, you should run away. And you see, I took a ton of damage because I don't have any upgraded gems nearby, but because of the absorption, I took it fine. So, just hit it. And I would suggest putting knockback on your sword. Like, this is a really hard boss fight, so, like, prepare everything. Like, my armor's... Like, look, see, I'm in full prot for Bud Light Knight armor, and it can still almost kill me. So you definitely want to be careful. Alright, and I would say, like, right when your shield breaks, I would just start running. Because, he's kind of like a slime where he doesn't have any attack cooldown, so if he pins you against a wall, you're pretty much just instantly dead. And the interesting thing about him is he can break any block above him, so you can't really like hide in a wall or pillar away. He will get to you, so you kind of just have to run and hope that you don't die. Alright. And again, once we kill him, he drops a lot of levels, some light gray wool, and then the full set of the full set of Big Chungus armor. Alright, thank you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. This data took me a ton of time to make, like 2 months. And it's kind of a long video, so just tell me what you think. And I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!